Read All About It was, on paper, a simple literacy series for Canadian schoolchildren produced by TV Ontario in the late 1970s. It ran only 2 seasons from 1979 to 1981. Its premise was basic. A group of kids inherits a small-town newspaper and starts publishing it themselves. But what unfolded was anything but ordinary. Herbertville was no sleepy town. It was a nexus point, a liminal space where sci-fi bled into educational broadcasting, and where cryptic transmissions from computers held just as much weight as grammar lessons.
Lynn, where are you? Chris?
They are continuing their investigation on Trialberon.
Trialberon? Did they find a way to work the transporter? Wait a minute. You want me to believe they used a magic spell?
Correct. It was cast by a book character named Merlin the Magician, who visited through the transporter.
Another one? Just like the Queen of Hearts?
Correct.
And I missed them. Oh well. I hope they get back soon. We have to have the next edition of our paper ready by 6 o'clock. Well, if we can have our second edition ready by tonight, Mr. Fasano will print it for free. He runs the big printing shop down on Main Street, and he thought our first edition was terrific. So when he saw me walking down the street with the filing cabinet, he stopped me and offered to print our paper for us. But today's the only day he can do it.
This show didn't just teach reading, it wrapped it in cold paranoia. At the center of Herbertville stood a house, and inside that house, 2 machines, Otto and Theta. They weren't friendly in the way children's shows usually present technology. They were cold, cryptic, clinical, and in retrospect, they felt oddly prophetic.
Where escape is impossible.
We won't go.
Then you will experience the power of Duneedon. Watch and learn about the place of change.
What happened? Everything is so big. Look, we're standing on a table.
Satisfied, my little friends? Soon I will have the same power on Earth. Then no one will be able to stop me. Transport myself down to the mayor's office and attend to official matters.
But you told us there was only one transporter, the one in the coach house.
How foolish to believe everything one is told. Now stand still while I transport you to the planet of Maze.
No, we won't. Run!
Come back here. You can't get away from me. Come back at once.
Which way? Let's hide behind the book. Look, the door, and the picture, the company. Quick, inside!
Ah, you fools. Now I've got you. You're trapped in space behind that door. You can't come back. Do you hear me? Trapped forever as long as the book is closed.
Let's see. What can we use in this week's history section? Hey, what's happening? Chris, Lynn, is that you? Where are we? Hey, we're back at the coach house. And we're the right size again. Will someone tell me what's going on?
Before most kids had even touched a computer, this show was preparing them to interface with machines that knew more than they let on. Watching now, Otto doesn't feel quaint. It feels like a prototype for the era we have entered, where AI doesn't look like a robot, but sounds like a voice behind the screen delivering riddles in the form of search results. Enter Duneedon, an alien tyrant in human form, dressed like an intergalactic bureaucrat. He seeks control over Herbertville and beyond by silencing knowledge, erasing memory, and twisting media. It is a heavy metaphor for a show aimed at 10-year-olds, but that's what Read All About It was doing. It was warning children that the fight for truth was not just in books, it was in who controlled the signal. Duneedon doesn't just invade through force, he manipulates communication. In a modern context, you'd call it disinformation warfare. But back then, it was masked in the surreal glow of a public access set, filtered through a grainy VHS lens and delivered with the cadence of a low-budget Doctor Who episode.
I think it's another name for cat. The tiger is a member of the cat family.
Onward to line number 3, and then it will be done, you see. Coiled power unleashed. Beneath the feline fury, jungle grass quivers. It is perfect. Well, it will do. A typical example of haiku.
Let's find out who she is. Excuse us.
All my work I now disrupt because you choose to interrupt and keep me from my valued task. Well, go ahead. Your questions asked.
Oh, sorry. We just want to know who you were. Couplet. Isn't a couplet something to do with rhymes?
A couplet rhymes lines 1 and 2, and that's exactly what I do.
Oh, well, we're pleased to meet you, Dr. Couplet. I'm Lynn. And this is Chris.
And somehow, that made it even more effective. What made the show genius, truly genius, was how it folded its lessons into the narrative. Grammar, spelling, punctuation, structure, all the basic tools of literacy became weapons in the resistance. To solve problems, the kids had to decode messages, write articles, craft persuasive letters. Their ability to communicate was literally their survival. This wasn't Sesame Street. This was something else. Something weirder. Something that felt like it wasn't just about teaching, it was about preparing. Looking back, Read All About It feels like part of a secret lineage, shows that operated under the guise of education, but had the soul of resistance. The Tomorrow People, Math Net, the Bloodhound Gang, these were not just teaching, they were embedding something, preparing kids not just to read, but to question, to decode, to see the signals within the noise. The strange thing is that it worked. Ask anyone who saw it, and they remember it vividly, not for the grammar tips, but for the vibe, the haunted tone, the mystery, the sense that something was not quite right. And that maybe, just maybe, that was the point.
I've escaped death this time, but we will meet again. You may proceed.
What's that?
looks like another gas field.
Well, it's not marked on the map.
There are some hot springs nearby. Probably not gas, just vapor. Let's try it anyway. We better hold our breath, just in case.
Is everyone all right? Yes, I think so.
We meet again.
Oh no, more questions.
And a picture question this time. Answer it correctly or suffer the consequences.
I don't like the sound of that.
You have 10 seconds to identify what book character this is.
I think it's Alice in Wonderland. It can't be. That girl has dark hair. Besides, there are mountains in the background. There are no mountains in Alice. Well, the mountains could be the Rockies or the Alps.
The Alps, of course.
It's Heidi.
You may proceed, but remember, I will be waiting for you.
How many more questions do you think we'll have to answer? Chris, your uncle's moving.
Uncle Derek, can you hear me? I hope he's all right.
Chris, we're going the wrong way. We're headed for the cliff edge in the pit of snakes. Stop! Are you okay?
Yeah. Which way?
Well, we have to go back. I don't know which is worse, the questions or this maze.
I did not expect you to get this far. You do.
In the end, Read All About It wasn't really about literacy. It was about media itself, about how messages are shaped, who shapes them, and what happens when the signal is distorted. It asked kids to pay attention to read not just the words, but the world, and that is the hidden brilliance. Even when the message came from a haunted computer in a house that shouldn't exist, in a town where time bends.
Did you get the book? Yeah, but it's a trick. Blank pages. Come on, let's get out of here. Hurry, someone's coming. I couldn't do it. So what? Everything we're writing now is dull.
Don't you want to save the park?
Of course I want to save the park. If it's closed down, lots of kids will have to play in the street. Old people like Mr. Walker won't have anywhere to sit and enjoy the sun. What about the actors who make the people laugh and the band concerts on Sunday? What's going to happen to them? And where are we going to have the skating rink and the firework displays? Kings Park is very important to Herbertville. And we have to do something about it before it's too late. It wasn't a speech. It's just the way I feel.
The purpose of a speech is to express your feelings. You did this very well.
Did I really? Otto, let's start again.